Welcome back to Seven Deadly Sins. Anime Review episode number 47. This will be the 93rd episode of the series, The Voice Calling Your Name. Yes. Now, the thing with this episode is, it once again adapts from 6 chapters. Yep. Excuse me. Goes through pretty much the entirety of chapters 321 to 326, which makes, as in this episode, 8 chapters left to go for this arc. So yes, this arc will finish up exactly 2 episodes. And I read a line, yes, the season's definitely going to be 24 episodes. So we have 7 more episodes this season. So either that, well, probably the way it's ready to go right now, they'll probably finish his arc up in just 2 episodes and have, well, in the case of the arc that comes right after this Chaos arc, probably take up the rest of the series up until like the final final episode of the series. That's just my guess, anyways. Anyways, the episode picks up where we left off last week, where most of the 7 Deadly Sins show up to help out Meliodas and Elizabeth take on Demon King. And he's like, "What are you all doing here? This is not your battle." It's like, well, it kind of is, because it threatens the whole country. And they come up with an interesting idea. Using a very similar tactic he used to free Meliodas from possession of being Demon King, go into his mind. Yep. And here, all of the commanders who were there, they just basically said have Gother himself and Meliodas into Zedros' mind. And try to find Zedros, and they find him. It didn't take him very long. And apparently he's had this dragon valley that apparently him and his brother used to play with younger. And then while everybody's fighting the outside, then Glinda shows up. Yep. Now there's a slight change with it from the manga. Yeah, it apparently looked like at one point you have her show up and she's biting the neck of, well, first you see her show up before this with basically blood coming from the Demon King. You're like, this is my lover's blood. So she finds him and bites him. Of course, she introduces. Then, of course, Demon King picks her up. Now, in the manga, he rips off her head. In the anime, he rips the whole body in half. And here's the interesting thing. They actually do not show the full sequence of her basically reattaching her head. Mostly, it's kind of like basically, it's like a little blur, like a filter they put over it. Probably because of the fact this was a graphic moment in the manga. I mean, he pretty much ripped a woman's head off. And my guess is because the white audience probably like, yeah, that's not necessary to do. I mean, yeah, you try to have a killer, fine. Not the head. Rip her in half from the waist. Yep. And they've been toning this down a bit in the anime. It's one of the few minor changes they make here. And, of course, she comes up, and, of course, yeah, going with Mindscape. And, of course, well, Gother, who gets attacked accidentally by Meliodas himself. Now, before this, looked like some of the about to basically lose. Basically, it looked like, though, that the Demon King gained upper hand. And about 5 minutes in the episode, Escanor shows up. Yes, Escanor is here. And he basically helps. He basically provides distraction long enough for Gother to send himself and Meliodas into the mind of Zeros. He has a very cool line in the episode. I just was so happy they kept this line from the manga, which we'll get to that. So, eventually, of course, thanks to finding the real one, of course, they find them, and then they reveal that, oh yeah, the Glinda he's saying, I mean, I think the viewer knew this was a fake, given the fact that basically stuff she's saying is basically a bunch of lies. Like, oh, Meliodas killed her, and the fact he always loved him. And Zeros is like, yeah, I think that's probably true, what you're saying, but she would never say it. Not at all. And, of course, she is cast away. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, she's able to find the real Zeros. Nope. And, of course, there's, multiple Zeros that pop up. I figure out which one's the real one, but slice up. But look up, basically, if any damage, I'm not kicked out. But they Look up, it's Glinda finding Zero-One, and of course she decides to bury his face in her chest. Yeah, because he's very happy to see you, and of course, and Zero asks, why'd you help me? Because, well, I'm Big Brother. This is one thing I should do as Big Brother, help you out. And he leaves, and he's like, now to do one last thing. I gotta kill you, old man. Yep. Which I think is so fun. The fact that that's the last scene. But don't worry, he's not dead. But there's some interesting stuff that happens of him in the next several chapters. It's going to be probably the next couple episodes of the anime. And Ever gets back outside, and we have this really cool moment where Deanne basically thinking that she's not weak. She participates in the fighting. Though first it's the guys participating, and of course Elizabeth had to break the perfect cube in order to heal them so they can continue fighting. And look up, Deanne basically chips in, and again more power for her. Bond's like, "Go, give her some encouragement," and then he's like, tells Deanne, "Hey Deanne, how about after we defeat the gaming, let's get married right away." And then basically they actually know how to show her. She's a little bit embarrassed by it, and then she basically goes her head like, "Okay." She does that in the anime. Though, in the case of her face, they actually have her as embarrassed by it as it is she is in the manga. Her face is not blushing. Her cheeks are red, yes, but her face is not like has the red rose face of embarrassment. Unlike it was in the manga, which that's a minor change. I think it's just still hilarious. And of course, powerful enough to take on Demon King. And then there's a slight wording change, basically. All the 7 deadly sins are here. And he says, 7 deadly sins mission. In the manga, he says, mission, subjugate the Demon King. They change this in the anime to mission, defeat the Demon King. Okay. Yeah, he also said in the manga, this was the true mission of the 7 deadly sins, was subjugate the Demon King. They all mention that in the anime itself. And then Escort ends it with a best line of the episode. He's like, I have more bad news for you. And the King's like, Demon King is like, what? But I think what? It's high noon. And you see that, well, on his finger, he's like dripping and like, he's like burning. That's kind of been the way at the beginning of the end of the character. But I'll reveal more about it when I talk about his finale for the series, because yeah, I have discussed this before a couple of years ago when I was discussing, actually it was more like last year, I was discussing the final chapters of the manga, basically where this arc is adapted from. And they're getting very close to wrapping this up. I'd say within 2 episodes they're going to wrap up this arc. But if that's the case, then I think a stretch of the Chaos arc, yeah, that's probably going to be the case because the Chaos arc is only 8 chapters. Yeah, that or they're going to stretch this. I don't think they're going to stretch out Demon King arc any further than it is, because it's only 8 chapters. I highly doubt they're going to have 4. They're probably not going to have a stretch beyond like 2 episodes. They're probably going to wrap up by episode 18. Yeah, I would say by episode 19 of this season, that's probably when definitely they're going to wrap up this arc and move on to Chaos arc. Though I wouldn't be surprised though if they stretch out this arc, do like 2 chapters an episode just to stretch out for a good portion of the series. But here's the thing, it's only 8 chapters. So you could presumably get it done. If you want to do 2 chapters an episode, you can get it done in just 4 episodes. Which means the first episode 23, and the final episode could be just the epilogue. Yeah, that's my personal guess. Okay, so that's it for particular review. Now, I do have at least 2 more videos I hope to come today. One, of course, is the Comic Corner, but I want to read this trade first. But the other review I'm going to do is going to be reviewing news chapters for Fire Force. Yes, I missed reviewing the previous 5 chapters. Yes, I'll be discussing it soon. Okay? See you in the next video. Bye.